The very first thing he started mentioning is that how Bharati he appeared and accepted the form of a goat, how he killed Hiranyaksha while Maitreya Rishi he was speaking all these things. Vidur he was feeling great happiness by hearing all these things. At this point again Srila Maharaj started mentioning that how Sri Krishna he has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, means my birth as well as all my activities are transcendental. It's not mundane. What is the meaning of transcendental? The meaning of transcendental means alaukic, means which we generally don't see in this material world. Alaukic. Srila Maharaj started mentioning that how Krishna, when he appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudeva, over there, he appeared in front of them in four-armed form, having Shankh, Chakra, Gada and Padma in his hands. Is it possible for an ordinary child to take birth like this? No. Is it possible that he will be coming with the weapons? No. As soon as the Lord appeared in front of them, he started speaking with them. Is it possible for a person, ordinary boy, to speak like this? No. So this is called transcendental birth. And when Vasudeva Maharaj, he was praying to him, even though the Lord was hearing everything, but still he did not reciprocate it 100%. Whereas when Devaki, she started praying to the Lord, at that time she mentioned one thing, that you yourself is saying that you have appeared as our son. So if you have appeared, you became so merciful, so why don't you take a form also like a child? So by hearing her prayer, the Lord accepted the form of a boy. And then he was being taken by Vasudeva Maharaj to Nanda Bhavan in Nanda Gram. Prior to that, Srila Maharaj mentioned that how over there in the jail, even though earlier when sixth son of Devaki and Vasudeva they took birth, Vasudeva Maharaj kept his vow. Just as soon as they took birth, he took all of their kids to Kamsa and handed over to him according to his promise, what he made to Kamsa. But at this point, when Krishna, he mentioned Vasudeva that oh, take me to Nandagram, at that time Vasudeva Maharaj completely forgot about his vow, his words, his promise, what he made to Kamsa, and took this child with him to Nandagram. Gokul, sorry. So over there, what had happened? Yashoda Mata, she has given birth to two children. And it was not visible to Vasudeva Maharaj. He just saw over there one girl. And he took that girl with him and left his son over there. But because Mother Yashoda, she gave birth to two children, that's why Vasudeva, who came from Mathura, he got merged into Krishna, who took birth from the womb of Mother Yashoda. And then this girl was being brought to Mathura. Kamsa, he wanted to kill her, but then she started mentioning while Kamsa hit her on one stone, instead of hitting over there, she just flew in the sky, and there she started mentioning that, oh foolish one, how dare you are, why you are trying to do something which is not possible. Your killer has taken birth somewhere else, he will kill you for sure. So in this way, Kamsa, he was scared by hearing these words, and then finally he asked for forgiveness. And on the other side, what happened in Gokul? Over there, Maharaj started mentioning that merging of two Krishna together, Vasudeva along with Brajendra and Krishna, is it possible to believe? For ordinary people, it is very difficult to believe. But our Goswamis, they give us all details that how all these things can happen, because Lord is not an ordinary person. He is Bhagavan himself. Anything and everything is possible for him to perform. In his realm, everything works according to his free will. That's why it is possible. And they have shown, also they have proved through the Shastras that how there were two Krishnas. On one side, it is being presented that how Krishna is Brajendra Nandan Krishna. And he never takes one step even out of Braj. He always resides in Braj itself. And on the other side, Vasudeva Krishna, who came with Vasudeva Maharaj, he was merged into him, and all the killing of demons, all these things were being performed by Vasudeva Krishna, not by Brajendra Nandan Krishna. Brajendra Nandan Krishna is only performing sweet pastimes of Braj, not any other pastimes. And the time when Akrura came to Braj, he wanted to take Krishna out of Braj, wanted to bring him to Mathura. At that time, he also saw how on Akrura Ghat there was one Krishna and Balaram who were taking bath in Yamuna, and then there was another who was sitting on the chariot itself. So that's why he was first unable to understand that what is this. But over there, Brajendra Nandan Krishna along with Rohini Nandan, he was in they stayed in Braj itself. And Vasudeva Krishna, Vasudeva Nandan, Vasudeva as well as Devaki Nandan, means not Rohini Nandan Balaram, but Devaki Nandan Sankarshan. They were being taken to Mathura. At this point, Srila Maharaj, he mentioned that the time when Akrura was taking Krishna and Balaram out of Braj, at that time, Mother Yashoda and so many other elderly gopis, they were crying so much. All the gopis, they have given up their shyness. They also came out, started rolling on the ground, and they wanted to stop the chariot. But somehow or other, when they were fainted, almost unconscious, at that time Akrura, what he did, he made his way somehow or other and ran away from there with his chariot. At that time, one offense came on his part. He made offense on the lotus feet of Braj Gopis. And by the result of that, what had happened, that while he was there in Mathura, some desires for Vishaya, for collecting sense objects manifested in his heart, and he went to Kashi even to perform so many activities like karma kanjis. So that was the offense which he made at the lotus feet of Braj Gopis. So when he left, at that time it was being seen that how Brajendranandan Krishna he stayed back in Braj, and Vasudev Nandan Vasudev was being taken to Mathura. So in this way Srila Maharaj mentioned that all these things come in the category of Janma Karma Chavi Divyam, means the birth as well as the activities of the Lord is transcendental. It is not possible for ordinary person to conceive all these things unless and until they take complete shelter at the lotus feet of Mahajans, those who can really relate themselves with all these kind of things. It is not possible for anybody to understand the real secret, the truths behind all these kind of things. Krishna, even though he spoke in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Jame Divyam, but still, people when they don't understand, then there is a need to repeat the words again and again. So the same kind of words again repeated in Srimad Bhagavatam also, in Gajendra Moksha Stav. Over there also, it has been mentioned that in the name, form, quality, pastimes, records, associates of Lord, there is no fault at all. No good, no dosh. Means material qualities as well as material fault does not fall on the Lord and His associates or anything related to the Lord. At this point, Srila Maharaj again started mentioning what is the meaning of gun and what is the meaning of dosh. The meaning of gun over there is sattva gun, rajogun and tamagun. All these things does not have any relationship with anything related to the Lord. As well as dosh, any kind of fault of this material world does not having any touch with anything related to the Lord. At this point, Srila Maharaj started mentioning that all the demigods, they are considered that they are in the mode of goodness. But in reality, out of these three things, mode of passion, mode of goodness and mode of ignorance, one of them cannot stay by itself. It is for sure that wherever there is mode of goodness, mode of ignorance as well as mode of passion will be also there. Maybe in little bit proportion, but it will be there for sure. Like Maharaj was mentioning Indra, he is known as a person from Swarnaloka. Over there, mode of goodness is prominent. But still, we see that Indra was the one who was trying to take Kayadu, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, with him and wanted to keep her with himself. So this is the activity of a person who is in the mode of goodness? No. This is the activity of a person who is in the mode of ignorance. Doing such a thing that taking the wife of somebody, and especially at that time when she is pregnant even. So this act of Indra cannot be considered the act of a person in mode of goodness. And the other incident Srila Maharaj mentioned that when his stepmother, she was pregnant, at that time Indra entered into her womb and cut the baby into 7 pieces. And when these babies they started crying, at that time he started mentioning, Maharuta, Maharuta, don't cry, don't cry. So Srila Maharaj mentions again and again, Indra, a person who is in the mode of goodness, acting as a person in the mode of ignorance, and at the same time he is claiming that he can cut them into 7 pieces and do whatever he wants, whereas they are having no right even to cry. He is saying that don't cry, why you are crying? Maruta, Maruta, I am ordering you, don't cry. So is this the activity of a person who is in the mode of goodness? No. So in this way, wherever there is mode of goodness, there is mode of ignorance or mode of passion is also there. All these things cannot stay by itself. So, Bhagavan, whereas he is known as a personality who is fully fixed in Nirgun, means he is beyond all these qualities of the material world, having no touch at all. So that's why he is known as Nirgun. Nirgun means a kind of position in which there is no touch at all of this material world. This is the quality of Lord. And then after that Srila Maharaj started mentioning again from Vidur and Maitreya that Vidur is saying that there are 2 ways which people has to work on. One is Vyakta Marg and another is Avyakta Marg. Vyakta Marg means which they can very easily understand with their own senses. That okay, I want to eat very good things, and they know how to collect things, how to collect eatables. I want to wear very good dress. They know they are in need for money, and then they can go and buy anywhere and everywhere. So in this way, these things which is very, very easily understandable by anybody and everybody just because of their second nature, this is called Vyakta Marga. And then there is another marga, another way, which is known as Avyakta Marga, means the path which they themselves cannot know at all with their own senses. Even if they invest their all energy, but still they cannot know anything about that path. And that path is known as Bhagavad Bhakti path. The marg which leads one to the lotus feet of Lord, to his service. That path can only be shown by Mahajans, not by anybody else of this material world. After that, Srila Maharaj mentioned that Srishti, when Lord wants to create something, He just desires for it. It is not that He Himself has to indulge in this particular activity. This act is being performed by His part and parcels, by other incarnations. That's why the name for them is Prakash Vigraha. Means there are personalities who are being awarded with such a power that they can show what is the path to go to Bhagavan. And they are known as Prakash Vigrahas. Even though externally we may see that Brahma, he creates the world, he creates the jivas, or Shirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, they are having so many different activities to perform in the creation of the world. But in reality, who is the cause? The cause of all causes is Bhagavan himself. To prove this, Srila Maharaj was mentioning the example of Kumar, a person who makes earthen pots. Maharaj was mentioning, if he is there, is it possible that the earthen pot will be made? No. Even if the earth is there, mud is there, but it's possible for him to create any other pot unless and until he is having wheel and one stick in his hand. So it is not possible to make one earthen pot itself, who is non-living, having nothing in it at all. There are three things which are required: a person who can make it, as well as the earth, as well as this as well as the wheel and the stick. So all these things are required. So out of these three things, there are different names. Like for the earth, we say that is ingredient cause for making the earth pot, earthen pot. Earth itself is known as ingredient cause, and the person who is making it is known as nimitta karan. Nimitta karan means in English how to, this thing is bothering me. Instrumental cause. Nimitta karan. So in this way, Brahma, who creates the bodies, is known as nimitta karan. And the ingredient by which this body is made up of 5 different elements is known as ingredient cause. Whereas Bhagavan, he himself is known as the cause of all causes. Why? Because earth is being made by Bhagavan. A person who is making the earthen pot, he is also being made by Bhagavan. He is having his consciousness, his living being. That consciousness is also being given by Bhagavan. So that's why the cause of all causes is Bhagavan. In the same way, whatever we see in this material world or in the transcendental world, the cause of all causes is Bhagavan himself, nobody at all, nobody else at all. That's why Bhagavan, he himself mentions that I, myself, I am moving all the living entities according to my own will. Nobody is independent at all. I am the only person who is known as completely independent, and everybody else is known as dependent. At this point, Srila Maharaj started mentioning that this thing, that Lord is the cause of all causes, and He is present in each and every living entity. Who can see this? Who can really realize this? Srila Maharaj started mentioning that Uttam Bhagavat. Nobody else can do that. At this point, even though he mentioned about what are the characteristics of Kanishthadhikari, what are the characteristics of Madhyamadhikari, and what are the characteristics of Uttamadhikari. But we will just touch Uttamadhikari because the point is related to this, that he is the only one who can see in each and every living entity that how Lord is present in the heart of everyone. That's why in the qualities of Uttam Vaishnava it is been mentioned that doesn't matter, there may be a dog, an elephant, or a Brahmin, or a dog eater, doesn't matter whoever is there in front of Mahabhagavat can see everywhere that how their Lord is present in each and everyone's heart. This is only possible for Mahabhagavat, not for anybody else. So at this point, Maharaj was going into the detail and started mentioning about his Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, as well as devotees in Braj. That during Braj Mandal Parikrama time, not nowadays, can say like 30 or 40 years back, 50 years back, when they were going for Braj Mandal Parikrama, at that time, near Gatashram Tela, near Vishram Ghat, over there, so many cows they used to pass, as well as the boar they used to pass, pigs, so many other animals. be very dirty. So Srila Maharaj was mentioning that even though this was the external circumstances, situation over there, but still he saw them that how they approached that land. All these things were not being seen by them at all, or did not affect it on them, did not affect it at all. By seeing the place itself, the pastime place, they paid their obeisances. Whereas Maharaj was mentioning what I was doing, I was seeing that okay, they are paying pranam, but how can I pay pranam? This is like filthy place, such a dirty place. So I found some place which was dry. So from little far I paid obeisances from there itself. But they were in some different platform. So that's why they can do anything and everything. But afterwards Srila Maharaj mentioned that the time came when we also came to know that what is the glory of this place and what is the real tattva. By associating with senior Vaishnavas, slowly the time came when all those things also gone away from our mind also, and we can also do the same kind of things. That doesn't matter whatever external circumstances may be, but we also pay pranam, we also stand there and glorify that place. So it depends on adhikar. So that's why it has been mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that doesn't matter, because everybody has to start bhakti from somewhere. When he starts, then he known as Kanishta Adhikari, Kanishta Bhakta. When he is having full faith in the lotus feet of the Lord, he does not worship any demigod. He is having no dependence on anybody else. He is completely surrendered to the Lord. So he has to start from here, everybody has to start, and then krame, step by step, he also reaches to a place where he attains all the qualities of Uttam Bhagavat. But when a person is sincere, if he follows the path sincerely, then he will definitely reach to that point. But if on the way he makes some offenses, then pitfall is there. So one has to be very careful. There is one verse which Maharaj was mentioning. Utishta Jagrata Prapya Varan Nibodhan Kurasya Dhara Nishita Duratya Durgam Padastat Kavyo Vadanti. That even though this path of bhakti is very, very special, very powerful, it can take a person from very lower stage to very, very higher stage within no time. But still, if a person is not careful, not sincere, then the same thing can bring them to a very, very lower state. At this point, he gave one analogy. Can say like for shaving, when we use blade, if this blade is having very sharp edge, if it is very sharp, then it is very good for shaving. Shaving will be done very nicely, very clean, smooth. But at the same time, if you are little bit uncareful, then it can cut also very deeply. So in the same way, this path of bhakti is very, very special. One can take so much benefit out of it. But at the same time, if one is not careful regarding offenses, then what can happen? He can meet with a very dangerous situation. So that's why one has to be very, very careful. I think that's what I was mentioning today. And at the end he was mentioning that tomorrow morning we are leaving from here for Bharati. Almost by 9 o'clock we will leave from here. That's what he was mentioning. Hare Krishna.